Hello everybody, to Politics here, and welcome to another video. President Zelensky is in London again. How many more times is he going to come to London? No doubt begging for more money and military equipment. No wonder our armed forces, our army, hasn't got any military equipment. It's all going to Ukraine to fight the Russians. And of course, he's got to come along armed with his begging bowl, begging for more money and more arms. I mean, he's a bit like Benjamin Netanyahu, isn't he? He's always visiting the White House. It's assuming if he's still alive. But going back to Zelensky, he's always on the beg, isn't he? He always wants something. I mean, this war with Ukraine versus Russia, it's costing an absolute fortune to keep giving Ukraine money and arms. Of course, all this started when Boris Johnson was Prime Minister. He said we must support Ukraine, and he was the same, he was exactly the same. Every time Zelensky asked for something, Boris Johnson used to give it him. And of course, now there is a war going on between Iran and America and Israel. And of course, no wonder our Britain's armed forces, we've got nothing. We've got no wonder we can't afford to buy the arms our army need. It's all going to Ukraine. I mean, people say that Ukraine should carry on fighting. Sooner or later, this war, Ukrainian war, it's got to come to an end. It can't keep going on forever. Sooner or later, it's one side or the other has got to say that Ukraine and the Soviets have got to get round the table and talk about peace and ending this war. But there's no sign of it happening. I mean, Russia, they're not making many gains, are they? They don't seem to be getting very far. At the moment, I mean, I think the reason why Zelensky is in London at the moment because nobody's talking about the war in Ukraine now. Now there's Iran's being attacked. The focus has shifted to Iran, not to Ukraine. And of course, Zelensky doesn't want to be left out of the picture. He thinks that we must continue to arm him and give him arms and continuing our involvement in Ukraine war. I mean, why doesn't Ukraine just simply capitulate, if you can say the word, in other words, surrender, and just call a truce between them and Russia? It would save all this necessary fighting, it would end it. But of course, the war in Ukraine has got to keep going on and on and on. I don't think it's ever going to end. Well, sooner or later, going to have to. There's going to have to be peace talks between Zelensky and Putin about ending this war. And of course, the Ukrainians have had some spectacular success against Russia. They've fired no end of missiles at the Russian armed forces, and they've been successful in hitting them. And of course, vice versa with Putin. aiming his missiles into Ukraine. But of course, with Putin, he's deliberately targeting civilians, whereas Ukraine are going after the Soviets military. But like I said, going back to Zelensky, he always seems to be turns up, doesn't he, when he wants something. When he wants some money and some more arms, he's probably running out of missiles. And now he's come to soft speak to soft touch Starmer about Britain giving him more arms to fight the war with. I mean, we. It's a good job that Zelensky hasn't asked for our navy to go and help Ukraine, because if we wouldn't be able to find any ships to send to Ukraine to defend. I mean, we've only just managed to send HMS Dragon to protect Cyprus. So goodness knows what we're going to find to protect Ukraine from Soviet missiles. I mean, Starmer, well, you know what he's like. No wonder Donald Trump hates him. No wonder Donald Trump keeps embarrassing him in front of world leaders. First opportunity he gets. Just you wait till there's another like a G7 meeting when Trump's there and Starmer and Macron, and Trump embarrasses him even more. Because let's put it this way, Starmer is just an embarrassment to Britain. He's just embarrassing us. Anyway, that's the end of this video. The politics here signing off. And remember, don't believe the lies.